Thank you very much, Ms. Sidhu, a Member of Parliament for Brampton South. Thank you so much for your presence. So let's begin by talking a bit about the impact of the pandemic in Canada and the federal response to it. What is the federal government doing to help recover the economy?
Teresa, as you know, our government is helping all Canadians, so nobody left behind. I know Canada will come stronger from this pandemic, but this time we need to help each other. No matter it's the students, workers, even small businesses, seniors, homeless. I'm working in a health committee. I'm a member of standing health committee. So we are working towards how our government responds to COVID-19. But our government is always there, as our prime minister is giving almost like everyone has his back. For students, I'll let you know, Canada Emergency Students Benefit starts $12.50, like more than $1,000 direct to students. 2,000 if they have disabilities or dependents. So they are helping someone who has a disabilities. They can get $2,000, so $500 more. Also, Canadian Student Services grant up to 5,000 for students who work in national service or position through organizations. They can get the grant. For workers, there's a Canada Emergency Response Benefit. 8 million Canadians have applied so far. 3 billions wage up. Top up low income, which include essential workers. There's a help for small businesses as well. Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy, which covers 75% of employee wages. 130,000 companies applied so far. 1.7 million employees have been paid. There's a Canada Emergency Business Account, interest-free loan up to 40,000. So Canada Emergency Commercial rent assistance is there. Property owners lower rent by 75%. This is help for the businesses so they can survive. For senior, GST top-up, that benefit 4 million seniors. OAS payment 300 and GIS payment for like 200, 500 altogether for low wages, for low income seniors. So for homeless people, there's many organizations are stepping up to help people, but there's government is also helping them through shelter, through organization to support those vulnerable populations. There's a support for agriculture. 250 million for agriculture businesses, so they don't suffer in this pandemic. So there's a lot of help, and prime minister is always listening through caucus, and MP can we have a different caucuses. We have a call every other day or same day, so ministers are listening. Everyone is working hard. One thing I'll tell you, even my local partners, Martin Medeiros is a regional partner. He's also working very hard. He's a member of Portuguese community. So there's a lot of help available. And I got many people's appreciation. So, our prime minister is there, ministers are there, so we can go through from this pandemic.
Mm-hmm. We have heard about some concerns regarding the Canada Emergency Commercial Rent Assistance, which aims to help small businesses who are having trouble paying their rents. But some small businesses are having some trouble accessing the benefit because it depends on the landlords. The landlords are responsible for the application. How can this issue be solved?
So I got some emails as well. Basically, there's assistance to give it to them so they cannot lose all the tenants. So that is why government is there to help them. But landlord and tenants, it comes under provincial. So I encourage all landlords to to request premiers or the provincial partners so we can solve this if they have any issues. So we're all in together. So federal government is there to help, and landlord and tenants, that law comes under provincial. So I encourage them to talk to our provincial partners.
Mm-hmm. How is the situation for small businesses in Brampton South, which you represent?
I know, Teresa, honestly, it is tough time, but when you have a government's back, there's a loan, 40,000 help for, eligible businesses, and 75% covered up for employees' wages. And as I told, 130,000 companies applied so far. But still, as you know, it's a tough time, but there's a help there. So we all have to go through. I'm a member of parliament from Brampton South. Brampton Downtown falls in my riding. And there's Canada Summer Job is also there to, it is a small help, but it is help. So government has their has back. We are there to help them, and as you know, 3 level of government is working together to help them. But this is a tough time. I got some appreciation too, but there's some issues, as you told, that the rent. So we all have to work together.
Mm-hmm. How is the pandemic affecting the Portuguese community? Do you have examples, concrete examples on the impacts of the pandemic in the community in Brampton South?
I can say there's a many organizations are there to helping each other. I'll give you example. There's a homeless days in regeneration. We have food. We were collecting food, and there's many people from Portuguese community. I saw they are coming. Even the older members of our community, Portuguese communities, are coming to donate. So in Brampton is very vibrant city. Everyone live together and helping each other. We are in the middle of COVID-19. As you know, our Brampton is still, we have a surge in our cases. Almost 2,000 cases is still there. And then health officials are still warn us to keep physical distance. So but we are working together, we are helping together, we're coming together from this pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Still, regarding the Portuguese community, we know that many events have been cancelled, namely the Portuguese Week, which celebrates Portugal on the 10th of June. This is a big defeat for the Portuguese community, right?
One thing, Teresa, I will tell you, there's a vibrant Portuguese community with more than 6,000 people in my riding. And Canadian government established June as a Portuguese Heritage Month. I was honored to second the motion of my friend Julie Jarowitz of Davenport, Toronto. Over the past many years, we also raised the flag of Portugal in Ottawa. As you said, yes, there's a celebration is not happening as we were doing before because of COVID-19. Our Portuguese community will be celebrating this month differently, even with efforts to reopen. Peel and Brampton is not completely ready yet to do the wonderful celebration we are used to during this month. Normally, I would join hundreds of them gathering at our local church, Nossa Senhora de Fatima, for an amazing parade. We celebrate in June every year. In September, we enjoy the feast of Senhor Santo Cristo dos Milagres.
Yes.
I love this amazing tradition and festivities. Back in 2018, I gathered at the town square to watch the Portuguese national team when the Cristiano Ronaldo as captain playing in the Soccer World Cup. I remember that time.
Mm-hmm.
So as you can see, I have a vibrant Portuguese community in my writing.
Mm-hmm.
And as I told you, my first statement 2015 was to recognize the role of our Portuguese community, because there's many fundraising Portuguese community did for our hospital, William Wassel Hospital, and Amigo Portuguese Do Peel is an amazing organization in my writing, and as I told, I have a pleasure working with them since I was elected MP. And Martin Medeiros is a great partner in my writing, Ward 3-4 regional counselor, and he's a great person to work with. Um, uh, I'm so proud of Portuguese community.
Yes. How do you feel that the Portuguese community is responding? Um,
Portuguese community are you know, as other communities, we are going through this pandemic, and one thing I will tell you, there's a help out there, and they're helping many people's, doesn't matter as the young people, doesn't matter as the older, like everyone is there doing their own part. And one thing I forgot to tell you, I was delighted to visit Ponta Delgada and meet with the local officials. I love the local food. I'm missing custard tarts sometimes when everything is closed. Um, and I was very impressed the nature of this beautiful part of Portugal. And last year, City of Brampton opened Azores Parks to celebrate Azorean culture, history, and the contribution of the Portuguese community. And I know June is the Portuguese Heritage Month, and we can celebrate virtually. And the Heritage Month is about recognizing many contribution Portuguese Canadian have made, and celebrate the rich heritage. Everyone knows Jack Alvara. He's a great person of Portuguese community, is working very hard, and many other Portuguese Canadians who did a tremendous work here. This is the month to recognize their contribution in Canadian, even in Brampton, in cross Canada. Um, as I said, I'm so proud of them.
mhm. In the beginning of this interview, we were talking about the federal measures and how the government has the Canadians back during these difficult times. Do you believe that the federal government will emerge stronger in terms of popularity after the pandemic? Maybe if there was another election, the government wouldn't be a minority government. How do you see this? Do you think it's possible?
Uh, One thing I'll tell you, our government is helping all Canadians, as I told. And when I have a youth council, I was talking to, I have a meeting every month with them. And what I'm hearing from them, so they, one person said he loved more Justin Trudeau because our prime minister is doing amazing job. And I was doing a Zoom meeting with the seniors, and one of my member, he was not very supportive of us. He said, Sonia, you have my side now forever, the work your government is doing. So same thing when there is a, like I'm talking to businesses, I'm talking to other organization, so there's a lot of help, tremendous support. So I'm very positive about that. This is the time uh, we have to help each other. Don't even think about election or anything, but there's a lot of support, I can imagine, especially in my community. There's a lot of support there, and people do appreciate that. And this is a time, uh, even though we, no one knows us, this person is from the opposition, this person's from municipality, because there's a three level, this person's from provincial level. So this is the time we'll all working together, uh, to leaving party politics on side, to helping people. Even though I'll tell you there's a long-term care issue happened, and even though it comes under provincial, but we federally, like, we are there asking help. So we all working together, no matter it's a provincial, it's a federal, it's a municipal. So we're all there together to help people.
Mhm. I was reading today an article that said that the pandemic is exposing and even worsening in some cases inequalities in Canada. Not everybody can work from home. Not everybody has the access to the internet. Not everybody has the same money to even buy masks or hand sanitizer. Do you agree with this? That the pandemic is exposing inequality?
As you know, on the other some regions, they're flattening the curve as provinces begin to slowly reopen. But health and the safety of Canadians remain the top priority. You talked about the mask. You talked about the hand sanitizer. So our government experts are giving advice to use the non-surgical mask if there's a physical distance is there. Brampton has a surge in the cases in Peel, so we have to keep our social distance, physical distance, the while we are, if there's no, we cannot maintain the physical distance, we have to cover our face with the non-surgical mask. For instance, we are going to the grocery store, when in the we are checking out our groceries. I think it's always we, because it's a hotspot area. I'm just giving you example, but you have to use the precautions. We have to listen our health experts, and that is, if we listen to them and keep using whatever like they are telling us, I think we'll get over very soon.
Okay, Miss Sidhu, any final messages you would like to leave to our Portuguese community?
I just want to say, happy Portuguese Heritage Month. And I'm so proud of our Portuguese community. And I know we are going through a COVID-19 pandemic, but we are, with the help with each other, help with your neighbors, and keep physical distance. Listen to our health experts, what they're saying. And with everyone's help, we will come together stronger. And thank you very much to keep confidence in me, and I'm always there to help you. My office is still, we, even though we are working from home, but we are always there for you. Thank you very much to have confidence in me, and thank you very much, Risa. Obrigada to having
Obrigada.
on having interview with me.
Thank you, Miss Sidhu, for this opportunity.